Okay. So I guess I may as well just call this session to order with who we have right now. I move to call to order. For those of you who want to second it, you say I second, and which
Second.
you second. Perfect. So we have. Do we have District 1 Senator today?
Um, Senator, I don't know. I think we have
I'll just call out the district names or the district numbers, and if you're here, say your name. Okay. So District 1, no one. District 2, no one. District 3,
Here,
and your name,
Mother Bird.
Mother Bird. Okay. District 4.
here.
And that's
Scooty.
Scooty. Okay. District 5. No one. District 6.
Macho.
Mazia. Okay. District 7. Oh, we don't have a District 7 because that's currently under election. District 8. District 9.
Here.
Texture. And myself. Alright. You're currently sitting on 5 senators. We are currently, I will consider us a minority session, so we will not have the authority to pass any of the appointments or the bills as it stands unless we have somebody else to join, which I will call them or add them to the call order. I move to open issues, if you guys have the document open for minutes. Do I have a second?
Yeah.
Okay. So the first open issue is the presidential cabinet. So I'm sure you guys are aware that Craik and Kumquat are currently on the list for cabinet members. And I was wondering if you guys wanted to maybe have Craik state a bit about themselves, about their background as to why they might be qualified to be appointed as the what did he call it, the judiciary judge? Yeah, the judiciary justice. Craig, if you could in general chat tell us something about why we should consider you for said position. I know that Ham mentioned that you were very familiar with the Constitution, but I'm not quite sure what that entails.
We are currently asking Craig for information.
You know, we're starting off with cabinet appointments, and since we don't have a full Senate here, or a majority of the Senate here, we're not going to be performing any votes today.
How many do we need for a full Senate? Or a majority Senate?
At least 6.
Yeah, I would say at least 6. From that point, we can actually make a vote.
Right now?
We have 5.
Okay. If we can get Van Price.
And I would say I would start the vote for Senate leader. I would like to, since I am one of the candidates, but the Senate leader is the one who can actually appoint, in the absence of senators, to make a full Senate. So you can say, oh, Manzia, you'll represent Van Price, Scooty, you'll represent Bourbon, and that's how that would work if we're missing like 3 senators. But there's no Senate leader, so we don't even have the authority to do that right now. I've read the Constitution over multiple times, and I'm given specificity when it comes to performing what is on the Constitution, and will do the same with any laws that come later on. So would you say you are more of a literal interpreter of the Constitution? If that makes any sense. Unless you'd like for me to specify what I mean by that. Okay. And so as it is written is what you will interpret it as. You will not interpret it in any other way.
We will also need presidential oath, I believe. Be sworn in.
We could actually legislate that, yeah, but that would be an amendment, I think. So then, Craig, I implore you with a question about that very philosophy, that principle. We have on our to-do list an amendment to Article 1, Section 2. or at least discussion as to the problem, about resignation, appointments, and removal, whereas the Constitution does not specifically state that it is required that a senator appoint somebody from their district. However, it does specify that a senator must be elected by their district for their district. And so there's a bit of a crisis if that were to ever happen. If somebody were to resign and appoint somebody else, there would be no actual literal restrictions on who they can appoint. So how would you handle that if it came into court as you as a judicial justice? No, of course that's what makes it fun. But I want to see your opinion on this, so that way the senators here can hear about how you feel, whether or not they think that it's a safe way of thinking for the Constitution. And other senators, if you have any questions to ask, Craig, by all means, don't. We're in the debate phase of the movement, so you don't have to wait for me to stop talking or anything. After all, it is up to you and your voters as to whether or not you approve Craig as a justice.
I personally agree, but I can't speak for anyone else. We do have 6 senators now.
Bourbon, hello. Now, I will say, Craig, I'm not quite sure that that's something I like to hear from somebody who's a justice, considering that the judiciary should be a separate check to the Senate and not something that relies on the Senate. I don't think that it's appropriate to take a vagueness in the Constitution and submit it to the legislature, because then the legislature can just change it how they see fit, as opposed to you're going to be actively going against the legislature in this case. I want to know how you would interpret it and how you would act and how you would judge and take action against it.
So I do believe that we can also do votes eventually, not to change the subject.
Oh, yeah. We can move to new business if you prefer after this. I'd be even more comfortable to do a vote if we had another senator to make it 7.
Yeah, I agree.
The sad truth of it, Craig, is that's probably going to be one of the first cases that lands on your desk, considering the likelihood of it happening. We've had one person already in the first election leave, but also win. And so what's stopping the president, other than his own responsibility to the people, from appointing somebody outside of that district that may benefit his party's agenda? You would have to make a firm stance on it. I'd like to reiterate, other senators are more than happy, more than free to ask Craig about his positions in terms of his role in the cabinet or in the judiciary, I should say.
If I may, Senator.
Go ahead.
So, what makes you more qualified than anyone else for the position of, Supreme Judiciary?
I think it's judicial justice is what it is. Judicial justice.
Sorry.
It's weird. We should probably change the name, honestly. I'm not sure that I like the sound of it. We're going to include that in our amendment to make it a little more easier on the tongue.
Mm-hmm. But I would like to hear about qualifications.
My main concern is just strength in an entire branch of government, and I don't think it's healthy to have the chief, I'm just going to call you the Chief Justice, deferring to others on a decision on what the Constitution implies.
Yeah, I agree there. You have to be certain of what your stance is on things. You can't just go to others in order to get that stance.
So in terms of that situation that I provided to you, there are two types of judges. Yeah, that's safe. I'm not going to hold that against you. But there would be two types of judges. Ones that say if it's not implicitly and specifically stated in the Constitution, then it is not there. Others say that there are some things that are implied and can be inferred and deduced from what the Constitution is known to say. And so those are two of the main approaches that you can take to the Constitution if a crisis was put on your desk. And not just a crisis, it could also be someone broke a law, for example, and they're being tried. Yes, there you go. Loose and strict. That's the word I'm looking for. It's been a hot minute since I've taken a government class, so... If that's your stance, then that's your stance. I'm just trying to get a better idea of how I might see that in the court itself. At that, I think everything that can be said has been said. Does anybody have any recommendations for motions before I motion to the next open issue?
I would like to move on to some votes if we have enough people.
So you move to poll, or you move to what in particular?
I'd say probably just some general organization.
Oh, you mean we vote as a Senate? Okay.
Yeah.
So I move to how many senators we have now? Did anybody else join?
I believe we have 6.
Here, Craig, I'll give you a great situation right now. We currently have the majority of the Senate presiding, but we do not have 10 senators. We have 6. Do you think it constitutional for us to vote on any official legislation in the state? And what makes you say that?
Cite evidence from the text.
I'm curious to how you might answer this. I apologize for the random delay to those who are listening to the session where, let's see. Okay. Now, Craig, I would like to point out to you, please go to the Constitution in Article 1, Section 4, and read what the contents of that section states about the quorum to do business. In fact, I'll read it right now. So Article 1, Section 4. A majority of senators shall constitute a quorum to do business, but a smaller number may adjourn from day to day, and may be authorized to compel the attendance of absent members in such manner and under such penalties as each house may provide. As such, the Constitution states that a majority of senators shall constitute a quorum. And so we have the majority of senators, which is 6. And if you want to get technical, since we don't have 2 of them elected, the majority would have been 5. But for the sake of security, I wanted to wait until we had more than that, which I think we are better off at this point. The members of assembly or society that must be present to make the proceedings of that meeting valid as quorum. Yes. And it says a majority is required for said quorum, or to constitute a quorum. So I would say it's constitutional for us to vote on things in our current state, especially considering our conflicts. And this is initial, very important stuff that we don't want to put off until another day, because we desperately need some of these things to be passed. And they're nothing complex and nothing dangerous, at least in my eyes. So I, for one, support them being voted upon today. I'll leave that question up for debate for the next 5 minutes if anybody would like to say anything on that matter before we move on. If there are no objections, I move to perform a vote for Senate Leader.
Second that.
All right. So as it stands, who do we have as candidates as Senate Leader who are currently presiding, or if anybody knows of other people who were planning on running, if they could please mention their names?
I am not running, personally. Bacon, you aren't a senator. You can't run for Senate Leader.
Yeah.
You're not a senator. Is he?
Bacon?
He doesn't have the blue name.
I don't believe Bacon. Did Bacon win his? He didn't win. He's currently in the election, I believe. I can just double check, but I don't think that he's won yet.
No, it's between.
Oh, Lonk and the Senate. Yeah. So.
Sorry, Bacon. You are not senator, man.
Well, if there are no other questions, I would like to place myself on the first vote as Senate Leader. As such, I will place the motion in the session, the open session chat.
Bourbon would like to run.
Is Bourbon running? Okay, I will also place Bourbon. So, I guess we will start with Bourbon first. I move to vote for a Senate Leader position for Bourbon. I will go down the list of senators that are currently present with their yeas and nays, including Bourbon's vote. So, when I say your name, say yay or nay for Senate Leader. Motherbird?
Nay.
Scooty?
Nay.
Okay. One moment. Mazia? Manzia? Is Manzia away from the chat right now? We will leave their vote as incumbent. Texture?
Nay.
Bourbon? You can go ahead and type it in open session. Nay. And myself, I say nay. All right. So we currently have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 nays and 1 incumbent vote, which is the majority despite the Manzia's decision. I move to vote for Senate Leader for myself, Papa CKG. I will start in the same order. The movement was declined. If there are no objections, we will move. All right. So Vote for Senate Leader for Papa CKG, Motherbird.
Yay.
Okay. Give me one moment, I'm sorry. Yay. Scooty.
Yay.
Madzia. Nay. Texture.
Yay.
Yay. Bourbon. Aye. And myself. Yay. The tally for Senate Leader: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3. 5 yays, 1 nay. If the Senate certifies it, Papa CKG will be Senate Leader for this term. If there are no objections, this will be the certificate for this first vote. All right. So I will go ahead and forward. Actually, we don't really need to forward anything. I will just go ahead and just in name, I am Senate Leader. And so I move to SR 1 2001, Senate Resolution 1 2001, which is the Senate for the People bill that I have drafted for everybody to look at today. Has anybody not read it already?
I don't. Wait, which article?
The first bill that I have, it's called the Senate for the People Act.
I'm going to read that now.
Yeah, if anything, I'm going to explain this to those who haven't actually read it yet. So this piece of legislation I drafted yesterday. I've been working on it for the past few days. The purpose of the bill is specifically to create channels in the Senate Leader or the Senate section in order to better organize our sessions, make them more readable for the citizens, and also make it easier to communicate with the citizens. So there's one article, one section with 3 clauses. I'm not sure that if everybody would like me to read it word for word or not, but I can.
I think a brief description
Okay.
could suffice.
I will give brief descriptions of each of the sections. So Clause 1 will establish a session journals channel. The purpose of that would be no chatter, and the only use of it would be by either myself or the journalizer for the session. If a senator wants to be the journalizer, the person keeping the minutes of that day, they will be given access to the channel, in which they will post the agenda that we used for every session that day, the to-do list that we used, and then a to-do list for the next session. And that will be published at the end of every session that we do. Just glance over this. However, the journalizer will not be obligated to create a to-do list for the next session if there is no new business and everything has been closed. In which case, at the beginning of the next session that we hold, we will work together starting from call to order and immediately going into new business, in which senators can propose new business. And if there's no new business, then we may adjourn. Clause 2 describes a channel that I thought up that might make communication with us easier, and it might pull some pressure off general chat while we discuss server channels after this bill, called the Citizen to State chat, for the purpose of citizens posting questions, comments, concerns, opinions, notions, recommendations, critiques, etc., and anything else deemed necessary for regulatory enforcement of proper use for its intended purpose of uninterrupted communication between the people and the Senate. And so the way that would work is the citizens can post questions or whatever on a slow mode, and communication between users will not be allowed. So think of it as kind of like an AMA or a Q&A channel, where you can say things like, "Oh, I'm concerned about this. Can I please hear your thoughts about this in the next session?" Or, "Oh, I read this bill that's on the ballot box. I don't like it. These are my reasons why." And we as senators will look over those questions at a certain part of our to-do list on our agenda and consider them publicly together. It'll be completely separate than just personally DMing your senator. It'll be more like to address the whole Senate.
And it'll keep Senate business more public.
Yes, it will. It will be completely accessible by everybody. The only difference is just to make sure that it's organized and that it's not being spammed with memes and such. It's going to be slow mode. And the slow mode can be adjusted by the Senate on a simple vote, as if it were a rule of the Senate.
You should also ban images, in my opinion.
That might be best. The last clause of the bill is the establishment of a voice channel called the Open Chamber, in which
press Putin. That's a good point. We should also
and hyperlinks. So I'll make sure to ban hyperlinks. That is going to be among the rules that we can vote on for that channel, along with slow mode. So the last clause specifies a voice channel called the Open Chamber, in which voice permissions are not to be restricted for citizens who want to talk with the senators. It's basically just going to be another general chat, if anything, except it's going to be used for official meetings between senators and citizens. And so if you are unruly in any way, you can be given a role that bans you from that chat and you cannot use it for a certain period of time. And it can be used to have debates among citizens as well with senators. So we can use the same system of calling to order and setting a topic and having citizens voice their concerns in an orderly manner. Let me see. Any other important details that I want to mention for this bill? So the channel will not be used for the purpose of deliberation on official Senate business. That will still be used in Senate open sessions. Yeah, and it just describes, the Robert's Rules of Order that you'll have to follow. Just make sure you adjourn. If you want to make sure that people are orderly, call to order. Things like that, and I can better teach you guys how to do that later. It's very simple once you do it over and over again. One thing I want to mention that's very, very important from here on, because I know as time goes on, people will look closer and closer at the bills. For the session journals bill, or the clause in this bill that I have proposed, at first, there was a clause that I had included that I realized would have been unconstitutional, and so we have to do something very redundant here, where whenever we post a journal to this channel that we create, we are also required to post the exact same journal in our Senate Open Sessions channel, which we'll be using for deliberation. And so I implore that we change that and say that that is not a requirement for journalizing, because it currently is. If you look at the Constitution, it's going to be Article 1, Section 4, which states that if we do vote to do journals, we have to record it in open session as well. With that, I move to open debate on the topic. Suggested changes, concerns, comments from any senators?
I personally agree with this.
No changes you'd like to recommend at all?
No, I think it's
okay.
Good as it.
If there are no objections, I move to vote on the bill. All right.
Yeah.
So I will go to the minutes. All right. So, much like the certification of Senate Leader, I will call your name, and you will give me your yay or your nay for this sitting bill. Motherbird?
Yay.
Scooty?
Yeah.
Mazia? I'm assuming you can do it in chat. It's going to be a yay. Perfect. Sorry, I'm switching between windows. Texture?
Okay, yay.
Bourbon? All right. And myself, yay. With that, Senate Resolution 0012021 will be sent to the Office of President for signing into law. So I will forward this bill to the President right now. And thus marks the first piece of legislation passed by the first Senate of 2021. Good job, guys. Clap. Super interesting stuff. All right. Let me go ahead and do the this was approved unanimously by the Senate proceeding 01/22/21. All right. And as in line with the Constitution, I will also post in the open session channel the log that states that we passed the bill. So. Okay, I forgot one very important thing. And I see that a lot of people have already left, but we still have our senators, thankfully. I motion to move to the presidential cabinet, so that way we can vote to confirm our justice and confirm our attorney general.
I second that.
Perfect. All right. So we will begin with the election of the attorney general, kumquat. I will state your name, and you will state your yay or your nay. Motherbird?
Nay.
Scooty?
Yay.
Madzia? And that was a yay. Texture?
Yay.
Bourbon? Aye. And myself, nay. That leaves us at 1, 2, 3, 4 yays and 2 nays. And as such, Kumquat is certified as the Attorney General of the server for this term and for this president. I will also notify the president. Your appointment for Attorney General was passed. 4 yays and 2 nays. All right, I motion to move to elect the judicial judge.
I second.
Okay. Crick. I will state your name and you will state your yay or your nay. Motherbird?
Nay.
Scooty?
Yay.
Mazia? Oh, we lost Bourbon. Uh-oh.
Oh, I don't think we can
Yes.
do that now. We
we
might
will
have to
pause.
postpone
We'll
this.
pause the vote. Thank you for bringing that to my attention. I did not hear him leave. Okay, thank you for DMing him. Well, since he was still participating, we're not going to certify the vote until we get his vote. Monsia, we are currently voting to certify Craig as judicial justice. And so you will give me your yay or your nay. All right. Texture?
Yay.
We will wait for Bourbon's incumbent vote. And I... nay. So we will wait. You can DM me your vote for Craig if you prefer, and I will post a screenshot of your vote in the Senate open sessions. And so at that, we are going to wait. In fact, while we wait, I move to, let's look at our agenda here so we can get some more stuff done. I move to SR 2 2021. for deliberation? Do I have a second?
I second.
Look at what that is.
Yeah, go for it. So it's going to be the second bill. It's going to be called the Chambers and Delegation Act, which specifies how rules are set in the Senate chamber, and I can give you guys a brief description if you have not already read it. I haven't had any edits offered to me quite yet, and it's a lot shorter than the first one. I mean, it still has content, but in essence, it actually puts in stone what the Senate leader election is, which is basically what we just did. Just you have to have a majority vote of a quorum in order to elect the Senate leader for a term. And obviously, as it is specified constitutionally, you will also perform this process if the Senate leader resigns or is removed in any way. So the first section is describing the election process, which is just a simple majority is required to appoint the senator. The second section, Clause 1, talks about the ability to propose rules to the Senate. And for the sake of, protecting democracy, as Senate leader, I would not want to propose rules and remove rules and edit rules as I please without consent of the Senate themselves. And so this clause specifies how there needs to be a vote with a simple majority on every rule that is to be added, removed, or changed in the Senate. The Senate leader has no authority to initiate a vote to change or add presiding rules without the entire Senate present. I will reword that to without the entirety of a quorum, or without a quorum present, which is majority required to do business. I'm doing that as we speak. Without a Senate leader present, the presiding rules will remain unless it is initiated against by the presiding Senate leader, the person delegated by myself to sit in my place. And in addition to that, I have outlined the ability for the Senate themselves to vote against or for a rule to be added, removed, or changed without the vote of the Senate leader included. So let's say I am absolutely adamant on this one rule, and I refuse to stand down, and I refuse to have a vote for it. You, as senators, the 9 other senators, may initiate a vote in order to remove or add or alter that rule and circumvent me in order to prevent me from having too much power over the Senate, because I want to make sure that we have as smooth flowing and fluid as a democratic process as possible. In addition to that, just get my notes back up again. I'm switching between like 4 different windows. It's so funny. This section 3 after that describes the responsibilities of the Senate leader, in which are not necessarily checked by a vote in order to combat partisanship in the event that that happens in the future. And so Clause 1 says that it will be the primary responsibility of the Senate leader to deliberate the occurrence of the next immediate session, in which at the end of the sessions that we have, I will put up a vote, what is a good time and date for everybody, and when I will organize that. That is my responsibility. And if I want you guys to do that, I will just tell you, hey, somebody figure this out. And optionally as well, I can plan even further into the future. It doesn't have to be the next immediate session as according to Section 3, Clause 1, as you can say. Section 3, Clause 2 says that the Senate leader has the ability to publish polls to the public, and it does not require a vote or a quorum to be in session. Additionally, I can just have information forwarded to me from senators who want to poll the public, and I will just copy-paste on their behalf. And Bourbon has just gotten back to me, and he votes yay in the election of Craig for Chief Justice. That leaves us at 1, 2, 3, 4 yays and 2 nays, and as such, Craig has been certified as Chief Justice. I will send a message to him now. Judicial Justice Craig has been appointed by the Senate. Congratulations, Craig. So Clause 2 talks about the ability to poll, and I have not actually written legislation for where those polls are going to be published. If anything, I'm going to publish them in the journal, or not the Citizen to State chat that we will use. I will post the polls there. Clause 3 says that it is the primary responsibility of the Senate leader to basically just organize the Robert's Rules of Order, motion to call to order, motion to adjourn. Is there anything that I have missed? Calling on unnecessary votes. Right. It also states, which we haven't been doing for the journal, it is my responsibility at the beginning of every session to call a vote as to whether or not we keep a journal for this session, which all that is required to keep a journal is 1/5 or 20% of the senators to vote yay, in which case we will record the minutes. Other than that, that concludes the contents or my summary of 002-2021 Open Session Delegation Act. I leave the floor open for debate, concerns, anything that any senators would like to add.
Does this stop citizens who were inside open session to record it themselves?
No, there's nothing about recording or journalizing on behalf of the citizens. Citizens are free to do as they please. This is more just giving us better rules to follow for making sure that we actually ask and ask the Senate whether or not they want to journalize. Because that's just for official records. There's nothing in the laws. We haven't passed any laws that says citizens may not record. So citizens are completely free to record as they wish.
I see.
Are there any other issues that anybody would like to speak of in this bill before we move to vote? If there are no objections, I move to vote on Senate Resolution 002-2021. And there are no objections, so we move to vote. I will say your name, and you will give me your yay or your nay. Motherbird? We didn't lose Motherbird, did we? Yay, I'm sorry. I need to check the channel more often. We have a yay. Scooty?
Yay.
Madzia? Man, the Senate's really excited. Yay! That was a bad joke, I'm sorry. Texture?
Yay.
Is Bourbon still not in the chat?
Bourbon is in chat.
Bourbon, your vote? Yay. And myself? Yay. And so the Senate passes Senate Resolution 002-2021 unanimously, and it will be sent to the President's desk to be signed. Go ahead and send this to him. Thank you for your guys' patience, by the way. Unanimously. Senate proceeding 012021. Perfect. Wonderful. Let me just pull up our agenda once more. All right, I move to new business, in which we will now discuss some of the more open issues. If anybody has any legislation they would like to propose, or if we want to just generally deliberate what our next move is in terms of the topics I have listed under new business. Do I have a second?
Yes.
Perfect. So I'm sure you guys have that to-do list I sent you. It's going to be basically everything under new business, from channel organization to server rules, recommendations, etc., etc. So I guess I will just start on the channels organization. What does everyone feel are the necessary channels that we should add today to the server to make it more accessible and organized and less chaotic for the server? definitely a memes channel. I agree with that.
Memes channel is just that's a necessary option.
It's a
I personally don't agree with a spam channel. That just sounds like a good way to get the server muted a lot more.
Yeah.
But I do think we should have an off-topic channel where topic is banned. Thank you very much.
An off-topic channel, you said? And who recommended? Who mentioned the spam channel for the sake of the minutes? Bourbon.
That was Bourbon.
Okay. Pardon my erratic typing. Like I said, I'm recording everything that's going on with this open session so that we can record who is saying what. So as we have standing right now, we have a memes channel, an off-topic channel was mentioned. Spam channel can be deliberated if we'd like. And I recommend actually for each of these, if we really want to go through each individual channel, we can create very small bills to pass as laws that implement each of these channels. How does everyone feel about that? With just one section, this establishes this channel. And optionally, we can add rules tied to each channel.
If I may change the subject to one of the...
So you can say, if you want to change the subject
channels,
to anything, say I move to, and then you can say a topic.
To change the subject to one of voice channels, just for a short second.
I second.
If we could talk to Ham about having the option to unmute people in the open sessions to talk for a short time.
I think we can just
it would be
pass that as a senator privilege.
Yeah, I feel like that would be a good option.
However, I would like to comment that the open session is a session for senators, in which senators are the only ones allowed to talk, hence why the bill we just passed gives us a voice channel for the open chamber, in which case we can talk with the people of the server. So I would decline on... Personally, I would not lend my support to something like that, because then it makes the bill that we've just passed almost unanimously, actually unanimously we did pass it, redundant. Because now we have two channels where they both do the same thing.
Yeah, I retract my statement. And I also have to go, so peace.
I see. That this further becomes a deliberation, as we no longer have the majority.
Yeah.
So, in that case, I will answer some questions. Give the Senate to appoint someone to have admin permission to the Senate, and they can edit everything in the Senate category. Oh, do we have permissions to do that? Oh, I see. Damn, we should have done that before Scooty left. Darn. We missed that opportunity. Let's see, so we have 2, 3, 4, 5. We don't have majority. Yeah. In the meantime, I am going to compile a little bit more about like the channels that we have that we want to add. So we have memes channel, spam channel, off-topic channel. Do we have any other recommendations?
District chats.
District chats for sure. All right. Any other recommendations? Minecraft only chat, that's certainly an option. And I know that Van Prace has his Minecraft server, but I think we can deliberate further when we have another quorum about whether or not we recognize it. I would love to recognize it personally, but we should vote on that. So I will write that down. We have right? So, in fact, we could also potentially do a Minecraft section if we choose to recognize Minecraft, the server, the Minecraft server. Oh, and now we have a quorum again. I will include Van Prace. Welcome, Van Prace, to the session. So we have, so far, in the minutes that I'm recording, we have conducted a quorum, seeing as we had the majority as described by the Constitution, Article 1, Section 2. Section 4, excuse me. We have confirmed kumquat. That is going to be 4 yeas, 2 nays. We have confirmed crake. Same ratio, 4 yeas, 2 nays. For Senate Leader, I have been confirmed by 5 yeas, 1 nay. And we have unanimously passed Senate Resolution 1 and 2 for 2021 to catch you up. But we do welcome you. We wanted to know your thoughts, Van Prace, on potential channels that we can add to the server, and maybe even we can draft today some kind of a bill to add some of those channels immediately. If you have any recommendations, you can go ahead and put them in the chat, but if not, we can move to a different topic. I'm going to read the Constitution about for a second.
I suggest a second voice channel.
A second voice channel?
Yes.
Okay, I can write that down. Just so you know, if you recommend something, I'm not going to tell you no, because I'm just recording what you guys say. This is for the sake of organization. So second voice channel. No mic channel would be fantastic. I think it's very necessary.
Yes.
Quorum recommends all right. No mic channel. At that, I think we have a sufficient number of channels to keep in the minutes, and if we want to motion to move later back to this topic, we can. But in the meantime, I motion to move to administrative appointment, so that way we have the power to unmute people who we bring into the Senate. Oh, of course, yeah. You may announce something, Mansia, if you'd like, before we move. Assuming it's on topic. Then say I move to, and then this topic, and I'm more than happy to second it. I know it's kind of awkward, but you'll, as time goes on, you'll realize it makes it a lot quicker in terms of order. That way, everyone who's listening knows what section we're on, what the topic is, and it kind of enforces staying on topic. Okay, I second.
I second.
For those who are just joining us, we're currently waiting to hear about the resignation. Okay, so Mansia is resigning. We would not like to appoint a temporary senator in your position. Well, with that, Mansia has officially resigned from the Senate position. And now we defer to the Constitution, in which, what district is Mansia in?
6.
District 6. All right. If vacancies happen by resignation, the exiting senator may make temporary appointments until the next election. If vacancies happen through removal, the president may take temporary appointments until the next election. We do not have anything in the Constitution that specifically gives us a course of action for this. And now, I think, Craig, we have our first constitutional crisis on our hands. Because the conditions for appointing a senator is through a removal or through appointment by the senator who is leaving. So we are currently in the middle of a pickle right now. Well, I think we, for now, should motion to adjourn because we have our hands tied. Unless we want to further talk about any topics. If anybody would like to move to another discussion, we can. If they would like to motion to move. All right. If there are no objections, I move to adjourn the first Senate proceeding, 2021, on February 22nd, perhaps February 23rd for some of you, depending on time. I think it's midnight now for some of you. The time is 6 p.m. EST. If I will go down the list of the districts to get attendance again at the adjournment. So District 1, if silence, I will move on. District 2. If I say your district, please say your name if you are currently present. District 3.
Present, Mother Bird.
Perfect. District 4. District 5. District 6. District 7. Bourbon, I'm gonna go ahead and put you in as here because, you know, you're here. Yeah, Bourbon. District 8. Okay, Van Prince, District 2, thank you. I'm sorry, I can't look at both screens at the same time, so that's why I'm doing the attendance. Van Price, Mother Bourbon. Did I already say District 8? District 9.
Present. Texture present.
And myself. So texture and CKG. All right, we have adjourned. This session is now adjourned, and we are free to conduct business as we wish outside of this open session. I will be posting the minutes to the open session channel, and whenever the president signs the bills, we will get the channels. I'm going to move to general if anybody would like to speak with us. I'm sure some people might have questions. Sorry, what's the question? Okay. Oh, welcome back, Scooty. I'm gonna put you. We have just adjourned. Unless we've adjourned 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah. Even though we have a majority again. Yeah, I'm not gonna do another quorum unless you guys want.
I'm just gonna head to general and meme for a bit.
Okay. Yeah, we have officially adjourned, so you guys don't have to stay here anymore. You guys are free to leave.
All right, who wants to go get drinks after work?
Oh, I'm down. Let's go party it up in the White House.
Let's go!
Yes. So if the president approves the Senate for the People of Act and the channels created. Yes. So I am going to take the log for today, and whenever that is published, I'm going to post it there. It's going to be kind of like our journal. You know, it's just going to be uninterrupted by chat. There's not going to be chat there. It's just going to be documents for what happened and what was said. And I'll post what I have for minutes right now, actually. I'm going to go ahead and sign the document. Senate Leader, certifying that I was the journalizer for today. 21/02/2021. And I will go ahead and send them right now to the open session as constitutionally required, I will say. There they are. And that is what was discussed and what has just happened. I also have a recording going right now, so I will probably upload that to YouTube and post it along with it. All right, I'm going to move to the general chat so that everyone can talk, because I'm sure there are people who want to talk. Oh, look, single layout, you're here too. Hello, welcome. We've just adjourned to the session.
Yeah, of course I'm late.
Well, actually, if let's move to general and talk for a little bit, because if we really want to recall the order, we can do that, and we can do other bills if you have anything.
I don't have any bills, and honestly, I would have voted nay on anything. So that pretty much, I don't think that would have pushed anything out from what I'm looking at the chat.
I just like to make sure everyone's included is all. Despite whether or not we know your vote already, it's very important to make sure the districts are included. So I'm gonna head over to general. Hello, everyone.
Hey, CK.
What is up, CK?
A couple things. Number one, the bills you sent to me all describe how the Senate is structured and how it operates.
Yes.
According to the Constitution, bills like that only have to do with how the Senate structures itself do not require presidential signature, so they become law without me passing or vetoing it.
Okay, so then you can just forward it to the laws channel for us then.
Yes.
Thank you.
Second, in the case of the resignation, this was something that was already dealt with when what's the person's name? Mother was appointed by me to be a senator.
Okay.
So the language is less clear on this, but what it's meaning to say is, in a case where the senator does not name a successor, the president is next in line for the power of appointing it. Of appointing the new senator.
I very much hate to be that guy, but in the interest of the people, I think that this should be taken to court because I disagree.
Okay.
As much as I hate it, I feel as though it is my responsibility to do so that way it is cleared up.
It definitely describes that I'm the next person in line.
But it says it happens through removal. That's where it gets me is...
Removal can mean many things.
Yes, and usually removal means that they have to be removed by somebody. And I think this is what I'm saying is I would like to formally sue the government.
Nice.
And the Constitution does have a process for this, right? I just want to make sure that the Constitution is being...
Interpretations, don't we need to have some type of clarification of meaning of terms in the Constitution itself?
Hence why we're taking this to court. I think it needs to be taken to court.
So you're not... I don't think you can take it to court until I make my appointment.
I see. But you've... Oh, that's true. Yeah, I guess I should wait for that to happen, then you haven't done anything.
Either way, you can also amend it too.
Local man gets destroyed with facts and written.
I feel any terms should have a singular and specific meaning. If the term can be interpreted in multiple ways, then there is a problem.
Okay, 100% honest. When I wrote it, I had multiple different drafts of this, and I know an earlier draft had it more clear.
We can always amend it, but I would feel most comfortable with a full Senate.
So we're going to have to deal with the implications of as
yeah, but you know, that's what makes it interesting, is dealing with these crises.
I say that you should probably move forward with amending it. Even before this gets support, but...
I think I speak on behalf of the other senators when I say this, but I find it personally wrong to amend the Constitution with only a partial Senate.
Well, you will if your interpretation is correct, you will not be able to get a full Senate.
Yeah, but you know what I mean. As in more than just 6. I think if we can at least get the 9 out of the 10 we need, I will be comfortable to do that. But otherwise,
So,
by the way, the special runoff.
the quorum threshold feels a little ambiguous for that stuff, as far as the Constitution itself is written.
What's ambiguous?
The quorum threshold for passing legislation.
So the quorum just dictates when it's an official meeting. The Senate itself can choose how
And
long they would accept
during
votes.
an official meeting, sorry to interrupt you, but during an official meeting, those are the only times that laws can be voted on, correct?
yes.
Well,
And if the Senate feels as though, if other senators think that we need to have a higher minimum requirement for senators to be present, I will be more than happy to back an amendment to it. But as it currently is stated, because we were trying to make sure that the structure is strong at the beginning, so it doesn't just fall apart later. Right now, it just says a majority, which means in this case 6 out of the 10.
What the Senate can do, if they like, is make it so you can extend the voting to be outside of the meeting for people from Europe, but it has to be based on stuff that was proposed while there was a sufficient quorum present.
I see.
That would be constitutional, 100%.
The good news is, with the resolutions, they were passed unanimously with 6 senators, which means that even if the remaining 4 senators were gone and we decided to put it up to vote, it still would have passed with a majority.
Okay.
Hence why I put it on your desk. I would have paused, but
I will add the documents there and make the changes necessary. But yeah, I think in terms of the constitutional problem we have, it's clear that I'm the only person left that would name a senator.
yeah, it's definitely clear about that. But then about whether or not you
confident in the
can
case
is
itself. So, I will be appointing someone, at which point you can file a lawsuit with Crake against my administration, and the constitutional crisis will be settled then.
Gotcha.
Sound
And
good?
if I do, it's nothing to make you look bad, but more just to correct the constitutional crisis. I would sue the Constitution if I could, but I have to sue you.
And I would like to work with you if Craig rules in favor of what you're saying. I would like to work on amending it
same,
ASAP.
Same here. I think the other senators agree with that too. We want to make sure
it's clearly the only people that can amend it. Not amend it. Clearly in the Constitution, it named 2 people that can appoint people, and if neither of them can, in this situation, we got a problem.
Yeah. Did since I know I know that we just adjourned the Senate, but one thing that we should be appointing now is the ability for someone in here to have administrative privileges for the open session channel, so that way if we need to have any witnesses speak, or for example we need Crake in there or whatever, we can unmute them as we need them.
Yes.
Do we want to call to order for that, or do we want to wait till the next session?
Something you should keep in mind is, traditionally in the real world, when you have people join, it's a hearing technically. So just consider that when making rules for that.
Yeah. I think that seeing as the bills that I passed are both for rules, I will be posting votes for rules in the open sessions channel here in probably a few hours, and I'll make sure that I get everyone's opinions on them as to whether or not they will be applied as per the requirements of the Senate, the what was it, Open Chambers Delegation Act. That way we can have all senators participating, whether or not they want to see this rule or that rule or that rule. so we can have a better organization. Perfect. Other than that, how did everyone think of it? Do you think the organization was
Seems to go
good?
well from the second half I saw.
Any recommendations for changes? I use Robert's Rules of Order because of the many meetings and hearings I've been part of that have been non-governmental but still professional.
Did you
And
set a date and time for another?
I need to do that actually. I'm actually going to recommend to the senators who are here Wednesday. We can do it much earlier in the day, and I think I would do it even like at the time like right after school is done for you guys who are not EST, but like for us it'll be kind of like right before the afternoon, so it'll be kind of an okay time depending on.
I can only do after 1 on school days.
What's your time zone?
EST.
Okay, so you can only do it after 1. So would 2 o'clock EST work for you?
Or sorry, 1:30. So
1:30.
Yes,
So 2 o'clock would work for you, EST?
Yes.
So how does everybody feel about 2 o'clock EST? That would put it at 7 in GMT plus 1, I believe, in good old Great Britain. Is that a reasonable time, or is that too close to dinner for some of you?
Please repeat what you said. Please repeat the time.
So it's going to be 2 p.m. EST, and this is more targeted at senators, but also for people who want to watch as well. So this is going to be the proposed time, and then we're going to vote on it in the open sessions out of quorum, as a rule.
Okay, that's 7 p.m. for us.
7 p.m.
So it
yeah.
should be fine.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to recommend that.
CK, I'd like to request a channel for the server. I would like to request a common law channel, which obviously the difference between statutory law and common law. This will serve for Craig to enter in his interpretations of the Constitution that aren't described in statutory law. For example, in the court case we're going to have upcoming to determine if my appointment is legal or not, he will enter in what he believes to be constitutional. So if he sides with me and says that I'm clearly the only other person with power to do so, he will say the president has power to fill in the vacancy when the senator will not name a successor. And if he sides with you, say the president doesn't have the power. It's just a list of decisions like that have been made by the...
So are you recommending a channel for the judicial justice section then?
There's already a category for that, but I'm saying under the laws category, we should add a common law.
Mm-hmm. Well, those sound more like decisions to me than common law.
Well, so essentially, okay, so there's common law and there's statutory law. These are real life terms I'm using.
No, I understand what you're implying. Yes, but there's no place currently for the judiciary or the judicial justice to post their decision. There's a place for the court cases that are currently ongoing with the evidence and everything, but I don't think that common law would be
stuff as he sees fit according to the Constitution.
I see. I don't quite think that putting a decision like that in a common law channel would be proper, because not all of the cases that land in his desk will be constitutional ones.
Well, only
not all
in
will be laws.
Constitutional, we're clearing up statutory laws, because then there will be a clear record of all the areas where the Constitution or other laws were in question. So he would only be writing in this channel when it's a question of law. Like, what is the law?
Okay.
So he can make his own findings decision channel. I have to make sure he has permission to edit the category of that, of his judiciary justice channel. So, yeah.
I'll consider it for the next session. I'll add it to our open issues for the next hearing. We'll put it to a vote and see what happens, because that's going to be something we're going to have to pass legislation for. Proposals. So I'm going to put it in minutes.
I think it would be very useful to have a place to be able to cite common law so it doesn't get lost to the and have to retry the same cases essentially.
Going to perfect. Open issues. I'm glad we got at least one important thing, or a few important things off the list.
Oh, Groovy's here now.
How many senators are still present? There are 6 senators. We could get to work. I think it might be beneficial if we really quickly establish some channels.
Yeah, and you might want to also consider a vote on the senator administrator.
Yeah, that might be important too. I'm going to clear up our template for new business. Okay, open issues and adjournments. Yes, cool. Gonna save my template. And then I will server channels.
Craig, you should be able to, if you're still here, yeah, you are. You should be able to add channels in the judicial justice category. Can you test that for me?
So I have the server channels, which is the common law channel, and then I'm going to put down each of the ones that I highlighted. We have the off-topic channel, memes channel.
So, as described by the Constitution, Craig, you can make channels for that category to do your job as you see fit. So if that includes a channel that just lists decisions on court cases you've made, or a channel to submit cases, if you want to do those, you can. If you don't want to do those, you don't have to. Those are the suggestions.
All right. If we could all move to the open session, so I may call to order, and we can do this very quickly.
Very well.
I'm just going to say it right now, guys, I love how this is going so far. We've gotten more done than I expected. In fact, we might also be able to do the district channels all in one sitting, too. And so the way we're going to do this is I'm not going to write out a big fancy law for each of these. We are just going to go into the law section. It's going to be one line per channel that just establishes it and just creates the channel under the text channels section. So let me publish the agenda and we will begin. Da-da-da. All right. Let me get this. And this one. Save as. Sorry, just give me one moment. It's kind of awkward. Alright, here we go. Please look at the Senate open sessions. It's going to be proceeding 2 for today's agenda. Alright, I move to call to order. Do I have a second?
Yes.
Alright. I will state the district per senator, and you will state your name if I say your district, either in open sessions or using your voice. I will probably take a moment to keep an eye on both channels. District 1 is going to be under election. District 2. Van Price. District 3. Do we have a District 3 today? I don't think we do. Oh, we have Motherbird. But I think Motherbird is gone. Do we have...
Other bird is gone.
Oh no. We have that. Okay. District 4.
Me.
Sweet. District 5. No District 5 today. Oh, Bourbon. Sorry about that, Bourbon.
Bourbon.
I'm sorry. I keep forgetting who has a mic and who's. I'll get used to it eventually. Bourbon. District 6. Do we have a District 6 today? I don't believe we do. District 7 is currently under election. District 8.
I am present.
Perfect. Single way out. District 9.
Present.
And myself, District 10. So we currently have a quorum, and we are now called to order. I move to open issues. Do I have a second?
Yep.
All right, open issues. We are in Section A for server channels. So I think we all agree that we should have a common law channel. Well, actually, do we think that we should have a common law channel under laws for the judge? We're not voting yet. we're debating first. I will move to vote when we vote. So what does everyone think about a common law channel?
I don't think it is necessary.
Okay. I know that Ham was mentioning that there's statutory law and common law. I personally agree to an extent. I think that should be left to what the judicial justice would say. If there are any adjustments to the law or to the Constitution, I personally think that amendments and decisions should be posted under law. Van Persie, you endorse a channel such as common law? Okay. What does the other senators think about this before we put it to vote? Any words of...
I would like to endorse it.
Okay. And what is your reasoning behind it? If you may try to convince me.
Seems like a good addition, in my opinion.
Okay. So common law under rules. Yeah, that is the thing, is I feel it is a little bit redundant. After all, the judicial justice does have full power to create as many channels as he sees fit under his section. And so I think it's a bit of a waste of time and, yes, a little redundant to have a common law channel underneath laws. I see. So, the president says that if the bill does not have something that says that only the judicial justice has the ability to edit this channel, then he will not approve it. Which I respond with, the judicial justice also has that same ability with his channels. Yeah. As I'm saying, it seems a bit redundant to have us put it in that section as opposed to him putting it in his own. It seems more appropriately placed in that section. I think it would definitely overcomplicate it if we start to cross into judicial purposes, having it on the laws, or the common law channel below the laws section. It seems a little weird.
Yeah, it is like we're already overreaching the scope of our work by trying to do so.
Mm-hmm. Texture, do you have any opinion on this?
I pass.
Exactly. So, what would be our proposed bill, placed in text, of course, for this bill that we're going to be voting on? Because we don't currently have a bill proposed by anyone at the moment. We just have an idea.
We could have...
Everybody is free to post what they want in open sessions, and I will compile it into one chunk that we can submit to the president and put it on his desk. Could you clarify to a very poorly educated person like myself as to what you mean by obstupification?
Overcomplicating for the express purpose of making it hard to understand.
I see. That is a fair argument, actually.
It is hard to justify the existence of one's trade without making overcomplicated nomenclature to keep those outside of that trade from understanding what you're talking about.
That is a fair point. I will propose something for the sake of nobody else really has any content to propose. Or rather, I'll take that back. Seeing as I personally would not like to lend my support to something of that nature, again, merely for redundancy's sake, and we already have that ability delegated to the justice in his own section, if somebody wants to propose a bill like that, they would have to write that and send it my way. For now, I motion to move to an off-topic channel vote. A simple one-line bill to pass for an off-topic channel. And do any thoughts on debate before we vote?
I think we should have one big bill of channels and
Okay.
then vote.
So then,
the bill itself.
instead of doing a vote for each channel, I will instead do a vote as to whether or not to add this to the bill. So, we will call this Senate Resolution 003, 2021, drafted by quorum, or I will say proceeding to 2102-2021, Article 1. So, I move to vote for the off-topic channel. I will say your name, and you will say yay or nay. Oh. Well, before I do that, I guess I should ask, does anybody have any rules they think that I should specify or define the off-topic channel for, or do you think we can just vote on adding a channel with the name off-topic without any enforcement of rules? Because as far as I'm concerned, I'm more than happy to just add a channel.
Off topic from general, it just seems like a general too.
Yeah.
Like Boogaloo.
Yes.
If you only have enough traffic for a general to add, understand, but
Okay. I'm of the belief that we can properly format this bill in a manner that we can add a list of all the channels, and then later on add a separate bill for the server rules to enforce the topics of those channels, if that makes sense. So this would just be a bill just to create those channels. How does that sound to everybody?
Sure.
Alright, so I will put it to vote then. I move to vote as to whether or not to use this bill as a means of just creating channels, and for that sole purpose. I will state your name, and you will state yay or nay. Starting with Van Prance. Yay. Okay. In fact, give me one moment. As a Alright, so you said nay, yay. Just want to verify. You said yes. Okay. So we have a yay from Van Prance. Scooty.
Yay.
Bourbon. Yay. Single way. Okay. Nay. Texture.
Yeah.
And myself, yay. And so it is established by vote 5 yeas, 1 nay, that Senate Resolution 003-2021 will be used for the creation of channels only, and that we will draft a secondary bill for the use of defining their rules. now I move to vote for the first channel on the open issues, the off-topic channel. Do I have a second for this motion?
Yeah.
All right.
Or yes.
We have motion to vote. I will state your name and you will state your vote. Van Prance? We have, sorry, I'm switching to your yay. Scooty?
Yay.
Bourbon? Yay. Single way? Nay. Texture?
Yay.
And myself? Yay. And so, as officiated by the vote, an off-topic channel will be included in Senate Resolution 0032021. I now move to vote on a memes channel being added to 0032021. Do I have a second?
Yes.
All right. Once again, much like the previous vote, I will state your name and you will state your stance. Van Prance? Yay. Scooty?
Yay.
Bourbon? Single way? Is this for a memes channel?
For a memes channel?
Yes, sir.
Yay.
Texture?
Yay.
And myself? Yay. By unanimous vote, we include a memes channel to Senate Resolution 0032021. All right. I move to vote to... Excuse me. I move to vote on the next topic of the open issues, the Minecraft channel. Do I have a second for this motion?
Yes.
I would like to remind everybody that if you do not want to move to a different topic, you may object, and we will vote as to whether or not we change topics. Whenever I ask for a motion, you can object. So, once again, I will state your name and you will state your yay or your nay. For the vote of a Minecraft channel, Van Prance? I have to ask. Scooty?
Yay.
Bourbon? Single way? Texture?
Yay.
And myself, yay. On a vote of 5 yays, 1 nay, the Minecraft channel is certified and added to 0032021. All right. And finally, I motion to move to Section 5 of the Server Channels section of Open Issues, the Spam channel. I move to vote on Spam channel. Do I have a second?
Yes.
Perfect. All right. I'm sorry, Single, did you say nay to object, or was that your vote? I'm sorry, I just saw that.
That was my vote. I did
Okay,
not
okay.
object.
I want to make sure. All right. So, I will say your name, and you will specify your vote. Van France? We have nay. Scooty?
Nay. I do not want to mention.
Bourbon? Single way? Okay. Texture?
Yay.
And myself. and myself, nay. Our total is 1, 2, 3, 4 nays and 1, 2 yays, and as such, the spam channel is not included in Senate Resolution 0032021. We have now reached the final section. I move to vote on district channels. Do I have a second?
Yeah.
Right. And so this vote will be made under the assumption that these district channels will be made in their own separate section of the text channel. So to begin the vote, I would like to vote on whether or not it should have its separate section from text channels. So for the spam channel, I got Van Prance, nay. Scooty, you said nay, correct? For the spam channel. Single way, you said nay for the spam channel. Can you please confirm? I'm currently going over the spam channel vote.
I confirm I voted nay for spam channels.
Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3 nays plus my nay makes 4, and then Bourbon and Texture said yay for spam. That's all right. It's very important that you hold me accountable for the votes. I'm more than happy to go back and go over them. So, once again, I move to vote on the specifics that the district channels be included in their own section outside of text channels. I will state your name, and you will give me your vote. All right, Van Prance. Yay. Scooty.
Yay.
Bourbon. Yay. Single way. Nay. Texture Turtle.
Yay.
And myself. Yay. By a vote of 5 yays, 1 nay, the district channels will be under a separate section. Do we have any recommendations for a vote as to what the section will be called? Anybody at all for the district channels, or are they going to just be called district channels as the section? And then we'll have each of the channels inside. That would be my recommendation. Okay. And actually, it's going to be a section like Judicial Justice, a section like Senate, a section like Rules, so we won't have to do the hyphens or anything. So, shall we do a vote on district channels first? You think would work? Okay. Then we'll vote on that. Distract chans. Single, are you officially proposing a name that you would like to see in place of district channels?
Correct.
Okay. So we will take 2 separate votes. We will vote for the candidacy of both, and then we will provide our votes for which one we prefer as if it were like a regular election. So I'll give you the example of, we will vote on, will district channels be included in as a candidate? Will distract channels be considered as a candidate? And then we will give our votes for support of either one. So I move to vote, if there are no objections, to having district channels as a candidate. I will state your name and you will give me your yay or nay. One moment. All right. All right, Van Prance. Scooty.
Yeah.
Bourbon. Oh, did we lose Bourbon again? God damn it.
I have bourbon.
For whether or not district channels as a section name is to be used for the district channel list. All right, we will wait for Bourbon's incumbent vote. In the meantime, single way.
Yeah.
Okay. Yay. You said yay. Texture.
Yay.
Myself. Yay. And as such, despite the incumbent vote, a majority has been reached to establish the district channel section as a candidate, and now we will move to establish the distract channels as a candidate for naming the section. If there are no objections, I move to vote for the candidate. I will state your name, and you will state your vote. Van Prance? Scooty?
Yeah.
Yay. Bourbon is not here, so it'll be incumbent. Single way. Yay. Texture.
Yay.
And myself. Nay. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. All right, and so this vote will actually be postponed until Bourbon sends his vote in, as it is currently unclear whether it will be a tie. If it were a tie, inevitably I would break it with my being Senate leader, but I do not have the power as there is no tie yet. It is undetermined. Actually, let's see. So we currently have 2 nays and 3 yays. If Bourbon says yay, we have a tie in which I break it. If he says nay, then it's a no. So then inevitably 2 nays. I guess we'll postpone it. In the meantime, we move on. Since it has been mentioned by the president, one contingency of it being signed, otherwise we may have to vote 2/3. Do we feel, actually I think this is kind of a stupid question, we should write in a bill or part of the bill that says that you require the permissions of that channel in order to speak into it, aka you have to belong to the district in order to speak in that channel. I move to vote on this topic. I will state your name and you will state your vote. Van Prance? Yes, I already chose to schedule them. I'm going to propose a schedule for Wednesday at 2 p.m. EST, which is 7 o'clock at your time. Yay, Scooty?
What?
Yay or nay on whether or not you need permissions from being part of a district to write in a district chat?
I'd say nay.
Nay? So you think that we should freely vote or freely speak in every district chat?
Yeah.
Okay, Bourbon, yay or nay?
Because it could can I state my reason?
We can debate it after the vote has been tallied.
Oh, okay.
Wait, did I just call it Bourbon again? God damn it. Okay. Single way. Yay. Texture.
Yay.
And myself, yay. That leaves us at 1, 2, 3, 4. We have a majority of yays despite Bourbon's incumbent vote, and therefore it is established that there are permissions required in the channel for or able to speak in it. This does not mean the bill has become law yet. God damn, why is people confusing me? Right. So I will write this restrictions each of the channels. Sorry, there are 10 separate channels named accordingly with the format of district number general. Does general sound good to everybody? General. Please don't make me vote again. I swear to God. Also, Ham, we were supposed to put slow mode into Citizens to State as a default of 1 hour, which we will vote on a change in the future if we feel like it needs to be changed, according to the bill that was passed.
Is there a way to have senators bypass?
Yeah, is there a permission, Ham, for that? Could you DM me whether or not there's a permission?
Because then if multiple people are asking questions...
Yeah. I think it's a given that we should be allowed to bypass the slow mode. Yeah. I'm just going to do district number channel, and then we'll vote on the bill at the end. Each of the channels should only be writable by those with the...
If the senator exclusion to the slowdown is not in the bill, then we would probably need to vote to amend it for the senators to have that exclusion.
If you feel it is necessary, then I agree. We can vote on that after we pass Resolution 3, 2021. Ham says he'll look into it, whether it's even possible to begin with. Alright, so I've written the following channels are to be established under whatever channel name we decide, or section name that we decide. There will be 10 separate channels named accordingly with the format of district-number-general. Each of the channels should only be writable by those of the assigned district as a rule. Aside from that, I cannot possibly think of anything else that should be written in this bill.
I would think it should be district dash the number of that district dash a not greater than 10 characters tag chosen by the currently elected senator.
That's actually a really good idea. I'm going to include that. So in place of a less than 10 characters, or should we say 15 characters, just to be open?
15 would probably make that a little too long for most mobile app users. I think 10's about appropriate.
Okay, less than 10. So assuming there's no objections, I'm going to try with 10. Less than 10 character and may be assigned, or no name at all by the discretion of that district's current sitting senator until the moment a new senator takes his position in office. Each of the channels should only be writable by those with the assigned district as the role, but is readable by everyone, or should it be readable by only those in the district? Should we put that to a vote?
Sure.
Okay, is Bourbon still not back yet? One, two, three, four, five. Well, seeing as Bourbon and official to the left, yeah, we do seem he's having technical difficulties. I am going to propose this bill officially, so that way we may pass it. Proposal. All right. Here is the bill. Proposal 0032021. I move to vote to pass it into law. I will ask your name. and you will give me your yay or your nay. Van Prance? And then we're kind of short on time, so I'm just going to make this fast. I hate to keep you guys up really, really late. Okay, Scooty.
Yay.
Bourbon, well, blank. Single way. Texture.
Yay.
And myself, yay. By a 5 yay incumbent vote, the SR 0032021 is passed into law and put on the desk of the president. We have one more matter to discuss before we can adjourn, and that is the Senate administrative privileges. Let me go ahead and send it his way. SR 00321 is passed 5-2. One moment, please. Senator to Ham. All right, and the last order of business, I move to Senate admin vote. Do we have any nominations for the person who should have administrative privileges?
I vote, you.
Do you have a second for that motion?
No.
You second? Okay, so you have a second. We move to vote on Papa CKG for Senate administrator privileges. I will state your name. It is much appreciated. Damn it. Okay. Ding, ding. Nope. Perfect. Right. Okay. Mr. Van Prance? Okay. Scooty?
Yeah.
Mr. Bourbon is missing. Single way. Mr. Texture?
Yay.
And myself, yay. 5 yays to 1 incumbent vote. We pass on the Senate administrator privileges to myself, Papa CKG. I would assume that would count as a Senate rule. Senate admin privileges have been assigned to in fact, I'm going to put that in a little fancy tildes. With that, I move to new business. Do I have a second?
I second.
All right. This is the moment for anybody to propose any new business or concerns that they have before we adjourn.
I have one concern.
Do we want to draft a proxy procedure
A proxy procedure? What do you mean?
for senators that know they will be absent for a meeting to pass their voting privileges on to another senator?
So I believe the Constitution addresses this directly in terms of
It
absence.
does, okay.
Yes. So a majority of senators shall constitute a quorum to do business, but a smaller number may adjourn from day to day and may be authorized to compel the attendance of absent members in such manner and under such penalties as each house may provide. And so in this case, we have used our reasonable doubt, where we are very careful to make sure we have a quorum, but in the case that we've lost Bourbon, we assume that if their vote would not change the vote, we have passed the bill into law to answer the question of depress Putin. Whereas I would typically not be comfortable with this. We had him initially, and he has been actively voting. But with the ones that are inevitable, we have not put up the question.
Okay, I don't think that addresses the concept of proxies, though, where
if a senator knows they will not be present and cannot be present, but we want to conduct business, if they are able to pass their voting to another senator of their choosing. You see this a lot in like real life legislative nonsense.
Yes. So it says right here in the quorum, there is a rule for the absence of the Senate leader to appoint someone to speak on his behalf. And I would go as far as to say that you may choose to appoint another senator in your absence, and if there is an issue brought up by another senator, it would be brought into court as it would be considered a constitutional conflict. But otherwise, I would say that the proxy would be there already, which is if you can choose to have somebody speak in your place. And signal to the open session channel as such that, hey, I appoint this person in my place for this session.
Okay.
That's what I meant to say by pointing out the rule about the quorum to do business.
Okay, I didn't think.
No, you're
also
perfectly right
meant
to bring
vote for.
Just as I can appoint myself as described by the Constitution, I would assume it is the same right as any other senator. If I am gone, I can appoint, for example, I appoint Van Prace as my Senate leader in my absence to lead the session, and so on and so forth. So if for some reason there is an absolute need to do a session and somebody wants to be there and they know what their vote is going to be, they can tell us in open session, hey, this senator will be in charge of my vote. They don't have to specify their vote. They can just say, I give my ability to vote to this person.
Okay.
So with that, if there are no objections, I move to adjourn. I will state your district name.
I second it.
Okay. I will state your district name, and if I state your district, or number I should say, you will state your name and that you are present. District 1. No one. District 2. That's going to be Van Prace. Perfect. District 3. District 4. District 5. District 6. District 7. District 8.
Yep.
District 9.
Present. Fertile.
Okay. And myself. Scooty, I'll put you as present as well.
Yeah, sorry. Just spaced out. You put my hand
That's
up.
alright. We are
games later.
officially adjourned at 7 p.m. on the dot. We will see you later, guys. Good job today. Perfect. We are officially adjourned. You are free to leave as you wish.
Fine.
Send everybody out. Perfect. I'm going to be moving to general to speak to everybody. Depress, were you in the channel when I addressed your question about
Yes.
Yes, you heard what I said about that?
Yep.
Okay.
This is a democracy server, which I hope will be recognized soon.
All right. Ham, I hope you noticed when you signed the bill, there is a blank slot intentionally on the section that we've created for the district channels. That will be kept there until we pass a law in the next session, which I will schedule and hopefully approve for Wednesday at 2 p.m. EST. And that is when we will actually debate the name. We have 2 candidates.
How would I suggest something?
You can just tell your senator to bring it up. Or you can go to citizen to state and say that, and that you suggest this, that, the other.
So,
CK, these under where it says the following channels are established under that's referring to the category.
Yes.
So can I put a placeholder category name there while I'm making them, or should I wait to make them in the first place?
So the text channels is already there. For the second one, make it in the brackets just like that.
Just the underscore?
Just the underscores, yeah.
Okay. Because I have it called district chats right now, but I'll change it as per the Senate's demands.
Yes, and make sure that you give the senators the ability to change their district names, like the last 10 digits.
Yes. That's going to require some work, but yes.
Yeah. You'll figure. You're the server. You'll figure it out.
Well, I just have to put permissions in for each specific person. Did you see I made an appointment for Groovy Gray?
I did not.
I've appointed Groovy Gray as senator for District 6. I am prepared for any legal challenge you have.
Okay.
Obviously, Craig would
yes.
preside over the case.
And now I will say that was a fantastic pick for senator. For the sake of my representation of the people, I will be filing suit. Again,
Yes.
Nothing personally against you at all.
I understand, and I have prepared a full argument that I believe will be sufficient.
Okay.
I am excited for your arguments.
Oh yeah, I'm excited to get this resolved too.
Yes. So, CK, in order for this to go forward, you need to file an official suit with Craig naming me as the defendant. Well, not me, my administration.
Will this be the first?
I don't want to have another checkers speech, okay?
Yes, this will be the first court case that I will have. Yes.
So for those of you guys who are in here, do you guys know what the checkers speech is?
The checkers speech?
Nixon's checkers speech when he was a senator.
Oh yes. I heard of that.
I do not know that. Can you
So our President Nixon, before he became vice president first, he had a whole scandal where he had, for some reason, got caught spending $18,000 in election money without any proof as to what he used it for. And he did not want to share with what he actually used it for. And so basically followed a 30-minute speech, which was filled with, I just recently did an analysis on it. There were 20 different illogical fallacies in 30 minutes of speech in which he did not at all address what the problem was and instead went in circles. And they called it the Checkers speech because the main point of his speech was to talk about his dog Checkers.
God,
the true presidential speech.
God,
seriously, if you guys are bored, look up the Checkers speech and listen to it. It's so funny. And it's a great...
I know exactly where those $18,000 went. He paid Stanley Kubrick. You know why? The moon landing.
No, he shared it with Spiro Agnew. Which he also committed embezzlement, so...
I was about to say, how long till all you guys get committed for embezzlement? That's what I'm here for.
I'm here for
we don't have any real money yet.
Yeah,
you will have real money when the
Minecraft
server.
Can you actually create a
fake
server PayPal account or something? Because I did pledge money. I'm serious. No. I'm serious.
It would have to, a PayPal account needs to be attached to a bank account. And
can we register as an entity?
You'd have to attach it to my bank account, meaning that I can get doxxed incredibly easily.
Speedrun.
Okay, but how much money?
However, I would like to say, Ham, what you can do is only use the account by proxy, where the only thing that the Senate can do is actually just take money out and put money in by bill.
Can you just take a bunch of money and get them actually in trouble for that though?
No. So Ham, you would never actually give anyone direct access to your account, and all you would be doing is, since we cannot just strip you of server admin, that will not happen. You are just in charge of whatever bills passed by any president or whatever. You just move the money where it's supposed to.
Yeah, but so okay, for example,
I can hear how much a bad idea this is. A soft idea.
That's true.
Am I going to have to do a court case
I believe it would be theoretically
money?
possible for the person who's the president running, let's say, an MC Pro hosting thing to find out what bank account is sending the money.
That is fair.
Also, okay. What are we using money for? Why do we need
anything
money?
we want?
Anything. So I was thinking, for when we can fundraise and like do stuff for charity and shit, or another thing we can pay for things other than Minecraft servers. Because what happens if van price goes away? We can't always depend on somebody like volunteering their server, for one, and for two, we want actual control as a Senate over the server, which adds a whole other complicated variable into the process.
Okay, I've created the district category for you.
How long till we fake the moon landing in Minecraft? How long until that?
Tomorrow. Where's the channel? I don't see it.
It's right below rules right now since you don't have a